Hi, this is Makar, and today I'll be talking about the war updates in Ukraine for February 4th. Let's start with some data, but before we do, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet, and also click on like on this video and leave a comment. If you don't have any questions for me in the comments, you can just put some emojis or anything, as every comment will help my channel to grow. Thank you in advance. Today is day number 346, and as of today, there are 130,590 Russian personnel being liquidated in Ukraine since February 24th. That's plus 120 since the last day. Also, Ukrainian army destroyed three anti-aircraft warfare systems, 3 tanks, 6 APVs, and 13 vehicles and fuel tanks. So now let's look at the video that I took from Russian propaganda channels and as you can see, they call the war special military operation. And it's been almost a year, and there is no military operation that can last a year. It's a war, it's genocide of Ukrainian people, but they keep calling it special military operation. Also on this map, the territory that Russia annexed from Ukraine, Crimea and the south and east, they possess as Russian territory for some reasons. But this is Ukraine, and that this map is for educational purposes only, to see what they report to their to the Russian people. So AFU is Armed Forces of Ukraine, continue shelling the border territories of Kursk region. They claim that Armed Forces of Ukraine keep shelling Russia. Nikolaevo Darano of Surzhensk district came under fire. Damage was inflicted on the warehouses of an agricultural enterprise. In Liman sector, Russian motorized riflemen continued their offensive on Armed Forces of Ukraine positions in Terny and Yampolivka direction. Russian forces completely liberated Bilohorivka. For some reason, they call it liberation, but that's actually occupation. So they claim that they occupied Bilohorivka of Luhansk region. We will look at it on the map, which is total BS. But the fighting was the fighting for in this area continued for several months. Armed Forces of Ukraine command fears a breakthrough to Siversk and is withdrawing troops to reinforce the city's defense. They, for some reason, think. Wagner PMC assault units expand their control zone around the settlement after the occupation of Mykolaiivka. Russian forces continued their offensive near Krasnogora and Paraskoviivka, overcoming fierce resistance from the Ukrainian army. For some reasons, they claim that Armed Forces of Ukraine suffer heavy losses. Some units have lost more than half of their personnel. Unfortunately, yes, casualties and losses happen every day. This is war. Yeah. Ukraine formation using HIMARS MLRS shelled Bulovynivka in Luhansk region of Ukraine. They call it Luhansk People's Republic, which is a fake republic. It's Luhansk region of Ukraine. Residential buildings, a house of culture, and a school, and also post office were hit. Civilians casualties were avoided. Armed forces of Ukraine artillery continue to strike towns in Donbass, which Donbass is kind of Donetsk and Luhansk regions. So Donetsk and Yasinovato were shelled again. A large number of hits and destructions of infrastructure have been recorded. A woman has been killed. Positional fighting around Soledar continues. Severe weather conditions hinder active combat operation. And also the sides take advantage of the short pause and carry out rotations in the forward positions. So they also believe that Ukrainian saboteur groups carried out another terrorist attack. They call it terrorist attack, but we call it liberation of our territory and liquidation of invaders. So it happened in Enerhodar near nuclear plant, which is over here. That's a nuclear plant, the biggest in Europe. So the car was blown up in the city center. As a result, the powerful explosion of the car was completely destroyed, and an employee of the Interior Ministry who was in this car was killed. This so-called Interior Ministry or employee, that's occupational authorities, and those should be arrested, jailed, or liquidated. Okay, so now let's go to the map and let's look at Chernigiv region where these three towns were shelled by Russian army, and the names of these towns are Sinkivka, Tumanovichy, and Yanzhulivka. Then in Sumy region, Russian army shelled Vilna Sloboda over here. And then in Kharkiv region, and let me zoom in a little bit, Russian army shelled Ветеринарне, Глибоке, Огірцеве, Зелене, and the Neskучne, Hatysha, and Vovchansk of Kharkiv region, the yellow circled towns. Then in Kupiansk region, area, which is over here, Novomlinsk, Dvorichna, Zapadne, Golubivka, Kupiansk, and Kislivka were shelled by Russian army, the yellow circled ones, in this area. So then in Svatova area, which is over here, Russian army shelled Novoselivsk and Stelmachivka of Luhansk region, and also Makiyivka of Luhansk region, and Ukrainian military pulled Russian tanks near Grekivka and Dibrova. Then in Kreminna area, Russian army shelled Terny and Torsk of Donetsk region, Chernovo-Popivka of Luhansk region. Ukrainian military pulled Russian tanks near Dibrova and Kreminna. So then we're gonna go to Bilohorivka of Luhansk region. That's the Bilohorivka that Russians claim to be occupied by them, under their control. So there is no proof of that, so we can call it regular Russian bullshit. Then so we talked about Kreminna. So in Bilohorivka area, over here, Ukrainian military pulled Russian tanks near Verkhnyo-Kamenska, and also near Paraskoviivka of Donetsk region, and Krasnogora over here. So that's Soledar area here. The Russian army shelled Vesela, Bilohorivka, Rozdolivka, and Paraskoviivka. And also now let's look at Bakhmut. In Bakhmut area, Russian army shelled Bakhmut and Ivanivske, and Ukrainian military repelled Russian attacks near Chernobylets and Bakhmut as well. Now let's look at the deep state map and see how the front line changed. So there were a lot of changes. So let me look at February 3rd. So as you can see, on February 4th, Russians keep encircling Krasnohora, and from the north and from the south, they advance over here. And if we go back, so they keep advancing to Vasukivka and encircling Bakhmut as well from the north. And from so they keep trying to control this road. And this one as well, that is a main supply chain for the Ukrainian army in Bakhmut. So as of now, this is a gray area, gray zone, and it's unsafe to use this highway. So the only road that can be used is this one through Chromove and Chasiv Yar. So yeah, they keep advancing and encircling Ukrainian defenders in this area, so they keep advancing here. Okay, now let's go back to this map. So in Kurdyumivka, Kurdyumivka was shelled by Russian army, and Ukrainian military repelled Russian attacks here. Then, if we look at the Toretsk area, here New York and Druzhba were shelled by Russian army, and one person killed, two wounded as a result of shelling in Horlivka of Donetsk region. And this is the photo of the body. It's blurred, so there is no clear picture, but that's apparently the apartment or the house, and I believe that's a woman laying down on the floor. So then in Avdiivka area, Russian army shelled Tonenki and Vodyane. And then there was also a frontline change here. Let me go south. So on February 3rd, since February 3rd to 4th, Russians advanced from Vodyane towards Avdiivka. So they keep trying to encircle Avdiivka as well. Then in Donetsk, MLRS shelling in Donetsk reported, and the damage in central Donetsk as a result of shelling. So where's Donetsk? Sorry, we need to look at this map. So that's the photo of the building that got damaged because of the shelling. The quality of the photo is quite poor. I don't think that it's gonna be better, but unfortunately it is what it is. So now let's look at Marinka area. Marinka is over here. Russian army shelled Georgievka, Marinka, and Novomikhailivka, all of these towns. And in Volodar area, which is over here, Russian army shelled Prachistevka, Velika Novosilka, Neskuchna, Bogoyavlenka, Vuhledar, Novopil, and Vremivka of Donetsk region. And then in Zaporizhia region, let me zoom out. Russian army shelled Olihivskia, Malinivka, Gulyapilskia, Novodanilivka, and Malatokmachka. And then let me see which ones. Nope. And yeah. So the yellow circled ones, towns. And then in Zaporizhia region, over here, 116 Ukrainian military were released from the Russian captivity in a new prisoner swap. So there is unclear how many Russian prisoners of war were exchanged for 116 Ukrainian military. So it's unclear right now, but I'm very happy for these 116 Ukrainian defenders and their families, that now they can feel safe and they can go back to their families, and yeah, I'm very happy for them. Okay, let's now look at Kherson region. So in Kherson region, Russian army shelled Kachkarivka, Respublikanets, Kozatska, and Kherson city itself. So the yellow circled pins over here. And then in Mykolaiv region, the city with the name Ochakiv over here was shelled with Russian MLRS from this part, from this area, which is under Russian control right now. And now in Odessa, over here, there was a blackout in Odessa and region after one of the substations failed. So that's it for today. If you like this video, please click on like, and also check out other videos. The suggestions will be in the corners. And also leave a comment below if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.